but chains, but my sword has been forged by my father's flames. Fight your fears and heal your pain, and victory will be in your name.
I used to be weak, but I'm not weak no more. I found the strength of my ancestors deep down in my African core. I used to be frightened, I'm not afraid no more. The Father blessed me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them. Tell them no retreat, no surrender. I shall fight till the end of days. I was born as a Makai warrior, and the Almighty God my blade. Fire burn all Satan carrier. Father loose all shackles and chain. This morning first thing as I wake up, King David told Sam to the brain. Don't let your courage go down, keep it up. And if your heart rip up and stitch it up, don't let your faith them fall, pick it up. When my cup was empty, God fill it up. Don't take the devil contract, rip it up. And if your bad mind people to go meet it up, pass me the Congo drum and let me beat it up. God on my side, me no give it up. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them.
Thank you, Father. I want to say thank you, Lord. You're everything, Father. Thank you. Father, you alone shall guide me. No man shall lead my path. In the wind I hear your quiet whispers, and you heal my broken heart. Even some of my friends turn enemies, and they pray for right to feel. And remember you gave us your only begotten son, but we gave him the wound of flesh. Send down your warriors with the hello, they carry down to the end of days. No matter how the devil try trick me, unto you my soul I will give. Father, I know this time is coming. I can see the high tide raise. Without you there is no other. Could it be that we decide
no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them. I am a man, I am a champion, I am a warrior. So who are you to tell me that I cannot make? Who are you to tell me that I am not the greatest thing that God ever created?
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on the various radio stations, whether it's 97.5 CitysoundFM, 89.5 CRFM, 91.9 and 91.5 RealFM Radio, 92.9 Cicero Radio broadcasting from Hillsborough, Carriacou, and of course 94.9 We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn, New York. A very special good morning to those of you who are joining us on the live video stream, whether it's on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, wherever you may be joining us from this morning. A very special good morning to you. It is a beautiful Friday morning in the Spice Isle of Grenada. We got a little showers this morning, but those are definitely showers of blessings because it's a big day for us today. We have reached a milestone as a country, a day to remember. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But next to me or with me in studio this morning, I have my co-host, Mr. Roland Bola. Good morning, Mr. Bola.
Good morning, Miss Duncan, and good morning to our listeners out there. You seem to be very upbeat this morning. You are in a good mood, I think.
I am.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice. You know, there's just that echo of gladness, that echo of joy. And I do hope that most of our listeners out there, the majority, I hope that they are feeling just like you are, upbeat
so
and,
too.
Joyous. There's always a few cases where there's something a little worrisome, there's some challenge that someone has to deal with, and it can, dampen your spirit a little bit. But be that as it may, let us not be too bothered about it. Life is filled with challenges. Life has all its ups and downs. It has its ins and outs. It's not always a straight and paved pathway. There are times when we'd have to hit a few bumps and climb a few humps and, ride over obstacles. But together, if you have faith and you believe in God, you definitely will be able to make it through. And I do hope that you got yourself sufficient rest last night, and you're happy that you woke up with all the parts of your body in the correct places, and just be thankful that you're able to see another day. Wonderful Friday it is, a Friday where in normal times I would not have been here today. It's actually the day when in my neck of the woods our village would have been celebrating and having our Saraka.
Interesting.
Yes, which is an annual event of festivity with food, where for over 200 years ago, the people of that area has been doing that as a means of giving the sacrifice, saying and saying to the God, we're happy that we had a good harvest season. It would be the time when corn would be dry, and they would grind it up to make the cocoa and so on. They'd have green peas around and sweet potato, and you'd cook up some yard for, the whole big thing. And we had kept that tradition. It died a little bit at one time, but well over 20 years now, we have sort of revived it, and a lot more young people are engaged. But due to the present situation, the pandemic, and so most people have decided not to go into the big cooking. And so I think there are about 2 or 3 people in the village that have decided they're going to do something. But it's nonetheless nothing like what it normally would be. And I'm a Saraka fan, so
am I. Trust me, so am I. So I want to just let the general public know why it's such an important day today, because we will have to transfer over to GIS shortly, because the government of Grenada is actually beginning to roll out its COVID-19 vaccination program today, with the first doses being given to or administered to several frontline workers, and then of course top officials identified as advocates of the vaccination program, they will also be vaccinated. So we're going to go over to GIS at this point, while we join the rest of Grenada in witnessing this very momentous occasion.
Let's bow our heads in prayer. In the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, give of all good gift. Today, Lord, we come before your throne of grace with gratitude, with thankfulness, as we prepare to launch our vaccination campaign here in the Tri-Island State. We thank you, Lord, for affording us this opportunity. We thank you, Lord, for our donors. We thank you, Lord, for our stakeholders. And we pray and ask the guidance of the Holy Spirit upon our Ministry of Health as they prepare to manage, maintain, and to continue this process. We pray that we as citizens also will seek to grow deeper in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And as we go forth, may you bless this activity this morning, and may we here in this country go forth to seek healing and to return to some form of normality. We ask all these through Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen.
Thank you very much, Father Mark. Our Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, the Honorable Nicholas Steele, Minister for Health and Social Security, Dr. Francis Martin, Permanent Secretary with responsibility for General and Health Administration and Social Security. Mrs. Hannah St. Paul, Permanent Secretary with responsibility for Strategic and Operational Management for Hospital and Community Services. President of the Senate, Mr. Chester Humphrey. Dr. Sean Charles, our Chief Medical Officer. Dr. Beth Braffett, Chairperson of the COVID Committee. Ms. Nestor Edwards, Chief Nursing Officer. Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edwin Martin. Ms. Nestor Edwards, our Chief Nursing Officer. Chief Community Health Nurse, Mrs. Carol Telesford Charles. Other senior members of the Ministry of Health and Social Security, representative from Pan American Health Organization, Ms. Fiona Anthony. As I said before, I am Audrey Lyons, the current manager of the expanded program on immunization for the state of Grenada. And today, I am elated and honored to chair this historic ceremony and to welcome everyone to our inaugural administration of the AstraZeneca vaccine. As a proud healthcare provider and frontline worker, today marks a new beginning as we take another important scientific step towards ending the current COVID-19 pandemic. We have seen or heard of the deadly effects of the coronavirus globally, and to a certain extent here at home. But as an advocate of vaccination and a champion of immunization, I strongly and sincerely believe that vaccination against coronavirus is our best shot. Ladies and gentlemen, whereas the virus continues to spread, lives are being lost daily. Economies failed and life on a whole has been disrupted. I need not tell you that that now more than ever, we need to step forward and play our part in preventing the transmission by taking the COVID-19 vaccine today. With these few words, I welcome all of you to the writing of the next chapter of our national COVID-19 response. Once again, welcome. At this point, we'll call on our CMO, Dr. Sean Charles, to give some remarks.
Honorable Prime Minister, Minister of Health, other ministry officials, distinguished invitees, friends and partners, good morning to all assembled here today to witness this historic initiation of vaccination against COVID-19 using the AstraZeneca vaccine. This is a proven, safe, and effective vaccine that has already received approval by authorities in the UK and the European Union. I feel relieved that Grenada finally deploys this vaccine as an added tool in our arsenal to respond to the COVID-19 pandemic and to begin the next phase of our fight to get back to a level of normalcy and comfort in our country. Today, I am excited to receive my first dose of the vaccine to protect me from this dreaded disease. As I sit here, I am fully aware that this is a privilege that many others do not have. In fact, I am convinced that if this vaccine was available sooner, some of the over 2.3 million souls who have been lost to this pandemic will still be here right now. They will still be here with their families today. Finally, today, I feel proud to be a West Indian. Over the past months, we have shown everyone how to effectively deal with a pandemic together and ride out the tough times as one people. And now we have demonstrated to the world what true solidarity is. We know how interdependent we are as one Caribbean family. For one of our countries to be safe, all must be safe. So when vaccines were received by our brothers in Dominica and Barbados, they shared it with the rest of the region instead of keeping it all to themselves. For this, we are truly grateful. I encourage all our frontline colleagues who will have the privilege of receiving this vaccine first to follow me and get vaccinated. We need you to be protected so that you can attend to the needs of everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Charles. Thank you for reassuring us that the AstraZeneca vaccine is safe. We just call on now the Minister of Health, Honorable Nicholas Steele.
Thank you, Nurse Lyons, Prime Minister, my cabinet colleague, Minister Alvin Dabrio, other members of the table, our President of the Senate, both PSs of the Ministry of Health, PS Martin and PS St. Paul, our Commissioner of Police, Edwin Martin, other distinguished individuals here, and most importantly, our frontline nursing team. Today is a good day. Today is one of the very good days we've had with COVID and dealing with COVID-19 since this disease reared its ugly face in December of 2019. Today, as far as I'm concerned, as I say on my mask, everything is going to be all right as we move forward. We are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's a bright light, multicolored light. I do not have measles because I have been vaccinated. I do not have diphtheria because I have been vaccinated. I do not have mumps because I have been vaccinated, rubella, hepatitis, and tetanus because I have been vaccinated. And I look forward to, from today, between today and another 4 to 12 weeks, that I will not be vulnerable to COVID-19 either, because I have been vaccinated. And I want to thank the team that has worked together, and in particular, to recognize Prime Minister Skerritt and Prime Minister Mia Mottley for their coordinating roles that they have played in this, to show that we are one Caribbean, that we are all in this together. And I look forward to all of our frontline team being vaccinated so that they can continue to do the work protecting the rest of us and to ensure that all of us who are eligible get vaccinated. I do know that there are anxieties by some, but I do look forward to those individuals getting past their anxieties, because 138 million people have been vaccinated with COVID-19, for COVID-19. And the odds are far, far less than maybe 100 individuals have had any sort of reaction or so from this vaccine. If you compare the odds, definitely, it is essential that we equip ourselves, that we armor ourselves, that we give our bodies the weapons to fight off COVID-19 so that we can go back to life as normal. And I look forward to that. And that will be possible when at least 60 to 70% of our population are vaccinated. So I want to thank the team here for organizing, and I look forward to, as we say, getting my jab today. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Minister Steele. Thank you, Minister Steele. And I also see the bright lights at the end of the tunnel, very bright. At this point, we'll call on our Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell to make his remarks.
Thank you, Sister Chairperson. My colleague ministers, of Health, Steel, and Minister of Trade, Deborah, President of the Senate, Honorable Chester Humphrey, Permanent Secretaries in Paul and Martin, Dr. Charles, who just spoke. Colleagues, I don't want to go through all this, but Reverend Mark, Commissioner of Police, all my distinguished brothers and sisters who are here for this, as Sister Lauren said, this very special occasion. This has to be seen as a significant event. And I indicated in my National Independence Address, advising all concerned to treat this as a critical aspect of our going forward, individually and collectively as a country. And I indicated that as soon as the vaccine is available, I want to be one of the first in line. So I'm in fact meeting that fundamental decision that I announced some time ago this morning. I'm very confident that we all should do it. I know that some of us are concerned, and understandably so. Everything new, particularly when it is dealing with one's health, we have to be cautious. There have been all sorts of rumors all over the place, almost all of it without foundation, you know. So, but I want to say that we will not be advising our people and our population to take this path if we felt there was any major safety issues involved. And I think I want to stand on the comments, the very decisive comments made by the Minister of Health and the CMO, Dr. Charles, as it relates to the issues of safety and other issues, and commending those and thanking those who are responsible for helping us. So I don't need to keep you much longer. But to say this, yesterday I got an email from a friend who said to me, I hear some people saying they're not ready to take this because they don't feel safe. But the first frontline worker that refuses, give me it here, please. so I thought, I think I sent the email to the Minister of Health. So that's his responsibility. So I'm very confident of this, and I'm very happy that we are here this morning on this very special occasion. Colleagues, as Prime Minister, I'm aware of the problems that this virus has caused so many people. As I've said over and over, and I think it's always good for me to repeat it, I have never, in my 36 years of political life, as a representative, I've never been inundated with requests for personal help from people. If I was the owner of a bank, I would have been busted today if I was able to meet. And these are people, in most cases, that never asked me for anything before. It is a very desperate situation outside there, and I want all of us to remember this in everything we do. And I'm saying this in the context that if we achieve the success of vaccinating our population in general, it would lead us on the way to solving the fundamental economic and other problems that we face. I think this is something I think we should continue to reinforce, all of us, that this is a first step in dealing with that fundamental problem that we know we have to deal with. Because there's no way life would return to what it used to be. There's no way people would take risks and invest in serious resources to bring people back into the workforce in many cases, unless they feel certain that we are able to intermingle safely and that we can go back to business as usual, as best as possible. So this is a significant step in going forward. So I want to thank the team, the collective team of frontline workers, Minister of Health, of course, and his team, and the officials of the Ministry of Health, and all those police officers and all of the nurses and so on who have been at the forefront of this important exercise. So thank you for your faith, and I think it's important. I say to people, the last thing I want to say, if you are in this, at this level, and you have concern, I urge you, keep it to yourself as much as possible. It is not fair to those of us who may be having less knowledge of the significance of this. If I hear someone, I have my doubts, and I hear someone who is at the ministerial government level or senior serious person in the community, even a Reverend Mark, if I hear people like Reverend Mark or anybody at that level say, and a nurse or something say, me and taking it, this would create further problem. No one is going to force anybody. This is an individual responsibility. We are strongly advised, but we will not attempt to force this among anybody. So friends, I look forward to this, in my own being vaccinated and being protected, because I tell you honestly, this is tough for me. I don't like the fact that I have to be in a house for most part of the day, because I do not go there and take chances, because some people do not understand the seriousness of this problem, because if you just step outside, people still want to hug and kiss you. I can't afford this. So I want to do it again. I miss the kisses in particular, so I want to be out there as much as possible. So I look forward to getting my vaccination today. Thank you all for this very special occasion, Mr. Steele and the team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Prime Minister. We know by you taking the vaccine, it will gain some form of vaccine confidence among the general public. So thank you very much for that. So we reach at the point where the height of the ceremony, we'll be vaccinating persons here. I'll now hand over to the Chief Community Health Nurse, Nurse Charles. So she will take over at this point.
Good morning, everyone. And as Ms. Stein said, we are at the height of today's activities, and we are going to go straight into the vaccination process. Nurse Thomas, can you please assist Nurse Lyons at the vaccination table?
That look good.
Okay, so the first person who would receive the COVID-19 AstraZeneca vaccine this morning is no other than our Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell, our Prime Minister who kept his word And Prime Minister, Community Nursing Division is extremely proud of you. You did indicate that you were going to be among the first. You're not among the first, but you're the first to receive the vaccine. And I know Grenada will be and is proud of you. So we are immensely grateful for your support today. Ready? So here we go. A very historical moment in Grenada today. They have shake hand. Right. She didn't tell me I moved. No, the Prime Minister had Kevin, don't do that. I did not speak to St. Paul. No, and she did not speak to me. The vaccine is no other than our Honorable Minister of Health, Nicholas Steele. And Minister, we are extremely grateful for your support, not only today as giving the COVID vaccine, but throughout the COVID response. I recall Minister Steele asking me to please call him, whether we got home 11 in the night or 9 in the night. He would always say, the last nurse to get home, Nurse Charles, please let me know, because he was concerned of our safety. And today, this is another strategy of being concerned of our safety, that we do not have to reach home as late. But now that we have our vaccines, we would be protected. Thank you, Minister Steele. Okay, so we're going to switch roles a bit, and we're going to give one of our leading frontline workers, yes, Nurse Lyons. We all would have recalled patient 0, and this is patient 0's nurse. So, yes. So Nurse McQueen, attached to the surveillance department, she's going to administer the AstraZeneca vaccine to our EPI manager, Nurse Lyons.
Go straight to Charles.
Okay. Next in line, CMO, our Chief Medical Officer. Yeah. Yeah. So, CMO, I refer to CMO as the brain and backbone of the COVID response. Yes, so.
After Humphrey and George, we shall call yours.
Okay, next I'm going to call Honorable President of the Senate, Chester Humphrey. Former Chief Medical Officer. No. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. So we have Minister W.I with us, so, okay. So then we do it after Michelle. Okay, so we have to go. They have. All right. Former Chief Medical Officer and COVID Coordinator, Dr. George Mitchell. You call me. I'm going next.
Okay. What number you at?
No,
Just call my name.
After CMO, because private has to leave, so sometimes one
Smile?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm pleased to announce next, well, I refer to her as the rock of the response, our Chief Community Health Nurse, Carol Telesford Charles. Okay.
Commissioner. Just call him Edwin Martin. Commissioner. His name is
Now we invite our Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edwin Martin.
Commissioner to leave as well. So yeah. So after that we did the voter thanks. So I just I just read them. So that's what they call you? Just not necessarily. I go there and this thing when.
Are we looking at the rest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see that because PM and
Commissioner.
the commissioner needs to remove and do the voter thanks, but for the rest will stay for the continuation. All right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we pause for the vote of thanks, considering that our Prime Minister is extremely busy, and along with our Commissioner of Police, they would have to leave shortly. So we invite the others to remain. You will get your shot as soon as we're finished. So I just invite Mr. Kevin Frederick to do the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Nurse Charles, and pleasant morning to each and everyone. Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Health Minister, the Honorable Nicholas Steele. We also would like to welcome our prominent secretaries, Dr. Francis Martin and Mrs. Hannah Sempol. Of course, our Chief Community Health Nurse, Dr. Sean Charles, and also to all of our allied, well, we call them partners and friends, or family members of the Ministry of Health. Ladies and gentlemen all, thank you and good morning again. On behalf of the Ministry of Health and Social Security, I wish to take this opportunity to express our most sincere gratitude to each and every one of you present here with us today in this room as well as virtually. Considering the immense effort made by our Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell, our esteemed Minister for Health and Social Security, the Honorable Nicholas Steele, our EPI Steering Committee at the Ministry of Health, along with the support of the Cabinet-appointed COVID-19 Steering Committee, and most of all, our trusted and dedicated partners like St. George's University, the Pan American Health Organization, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, the RSS, and friendly governments in ensuring that we achieve this milestone. We are exceedingly grateful and thank God for this day. Prime Minister Mitchell, thank you for leading us, sir, in this effort and demonstrating that you are a man of your word. And please, sir, convey our gratitude to the other members of your cabinet as well as to your colleague heads of state for their unwavering support. Minister Steele, sir, thank you, sir, for having demonstrated time and time again what it means to be a leader. I recall, sir, from the start of the outbreak in 2019, you took charge. And to this day, you've captained this team and show the world what our little yet powerful Grenada can do with great thinking, committed and dedicated men and women, trusting not only in science, as you would always say, sir, but in God. Thank you, sir, for your leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to thank our CMO. I would also like to thank P.S. Martin, P.S. St. Paul, our dear own Sister Carol Telesford, Charles Telesford, also to Amnos Lyons, our new EPI manager who has hit the ground running. Special thanks to you, Nurse. Likewise to Dr. Braffett, Dr. Mitchell, Shiris, Fiona who is there, Dr. Philip, Dr. McIntosh, Dr. Donald. Likewise to our SGU family, we see them represented here today. We are immensely grateful to you guys. Thank you so much. I hope and I pray that I did not miss anybody because we all contributed to this effort. Also to the Rotary Club and those who are outside listening, Dr. Hamichi and everyone, Dr. Nelson, we thank you from the very bottom of our hearts. This is the day that the Lord has truly made. We are going to rejoice and be glad, and let us go forth and give COVID-19 our best shot. I thank you.
So just to add, those of us who would have received the vaccines today, we will continue to monitor you. And your second dose, your second shot will be in 6 weeks' time. Yes, 6 weeks. So the 26th of March. Yes, so we will continue to monitor you. Even beyond the 26th of March, we'll continue to monitor. All right, so you will be given your card today. Yes. And to add that we're also doing the electronic immunization system, so it's also documented in the system as well today. Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Prime Minister and everyone, for being here. I'm told we have a photo shoot now. Yes? Right. Continue the vaccination process. Yes.
free with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNB. Get updated.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy.
To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal.
When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms of respiratory illness, avoid close contact when possible. Let's all do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. Our health is our collective responsibility.
Are you gonna wear your mask today? You see everywhere you go, there are rules you got to follow, so don't you say COVID-19 will delay. Take the opportunity to save your community. Don't be that guy, put a mask on your face if you're heading outside. It's your life, my life, more lives will be taken if we don't try. If you feel any symptoms, call the hotline. Stay inside until you feel fine. 6 feet away every day. Keep COVID-19 far from away. Keep Grenada safe. Be COVID-19 smart.
Back, and as you have seen, we've just concluded the vaccination of some of our top officials, the Prime Minister of Grenada, the Minister of Health, and other top officials were just vaccinated. That's a very momentous occasion for us here in Grenada because it means that we are one step closer to joining the fight against COVID-19 and seeing it coming to an end, right? Very soon. And as we said, the vaccination, and I've seen some people commenting as well, as we said, the vaccination does not prevent you from getting the virus, but it does prevent you from developing severe disease as a result of contracting the virus. So, as was said before, when you are getting information surrounding if you should or should not be vaccinated, whatever your decision may be, ensure that your facts come from a very informed place. All right. Now, most of you looking may be wondering who I have next to me in studio. Well, I'm going to give the gentleman an opportunity to introduce himself and give us a little insight as to why he's here today. Good morning, Chad.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm doing excellent.
All right, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So tell us a little bit about your company now, and we're going to tell you exactly why he's here in just a moment. Mm-hmm. But I want us to talk about your company, which is Sonova, right?
Sonova, yes.
Tell us a little bit about what you guys are involved in.
Yes, Sonova is one of Grenada's premier software development companies. We've, over the years, been a part of the development of many systems, database systems, and that's one of our main services that we offer. So we work with government, we work with a lot of the private sector companies in helping them implement systems to help them with the operation, to run an efficient and effective operation.
Oh, wow. That is absolutely wonderful. Now, you're sitting in this chair here next to us because, as every other Grenadian, we have all been finding means and ways in which we can assist government and assist our people in the fight against COVID-19. And your company has come up with a very innovative tool to help us in that fight. And for those of you who are listening, those of you who are looking, I'm hoping that you can see on the screen, if I can remember where I put it. If you can see on the screen.
His Excellency, Your Excellency, the Governor General, D.L. Cecil Loganard, our Commission Minister of Culture, our Commissioner of Police, distinguished brothers and sisters present here, members of the press.
The name itself speaks to connecting, right? So it's about connecting businesses to the people and people to the businesses that they love, all right? And now one of the major hindrances, we'll speak about the others, but one of the major is a challenge you have in getting into some of the businesses that you really enjoy going to is the whole issue of, writing down your name in a manner that's not necessarily the most secure, where you use the pen and the notebook and so forth. And so we've came up with a solution, and the idea for us is really to make that process very simple, very quick, and secure for the users. All right. So how it works, you download the app. You could download it now while you're listening, preferably before you get to the businesses that you want to visit. All right. And you register. And now, whether or not you have data on your phone, you go up to the QR code and you scan and you say check in. And whether or not you have data on your phone, it would work, and your data would be securely stored. That visit will be securely stored, and you're participating in the whole contact tracing effort.
Okay, now I have the app. I thought it was a wonderful initiative, mainly because I was very tired of signing my name. I was absolutely frustrated with the fact that every time I walk into a business, I have to sign my name. And I mean, I felt like I was all the way back in school heading up my notebooks all over again. So I heard of the app, I saw the advertisement and so on, and I thought I would take it for a spin.
Yes.
And it's proven to be very, very useful. For example, just the other day I went to KFC. Do not judge me. I went to KFC and I was very excited because I didn't have to stand up in that line and wait to write my name on the book. And then, I mean, it was ridiculous. It's still ridiculous.
I'm happy that you had that experience.
Yes, and in most places that I go, the first thing I ask, listen, y'all have the app? Because I really don't want to have to sign my name. I do not want to have to wait. I know IGA, I went to IGA recently, and there were two lines. One for people who had the app and one for people signing in. And I was there with some other people and I was like, listen, we not to wait in line, and I'm just gonna, because you can add people as well.
Yes,
when you check in.
Yes.
So I was like, listen, we don't have to wait in line and sign our name in, and let me just scan the app. And it was so efficient.
Seamless, yes.
So effective, and I think I love it. And I wish more businesses would get the app.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, we're getting a lot of new businesses going onto it. So the users of the app, every day we're seeing at least 3 or 4 businesses being added. We have some popular names who'll be going on next week. So some like the Ace and some of the bigger popular spots, right? We call them spots in the app.
Yeah.
They'll be going on next week, and then we have a lot more customers, users of the app. We're seeing it growing by almost 50 a day.
Wow.
Right, so the numbers are there, and then you could keep track of the stats by going to our website, tether.gd. We try to publish everything.
Oh, okay.
So we keep it in the open, so you can see how much new businesses, you can see where you can use the app. As a matter of fact, if you go into the app, under the Explore, you would see the different businesses there, and these are all the places you could actually go in and use the app.
All right. Now with us in studio as well, we have another young lady by the name of Alyssa Aird.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
All right. And I'm assuming you're going to tell us a little bit more about how the app actually works.
Well, I will tell you, I can't tell you the all the technicalities of it because that's Chad's area. But I could tell you in layman's terms how the app works. And I think the app is a really, really brilliant idea because it's almost like it adds security to your information as well. Apart from being so convenient, you just scan and go. I mean, I could speak for me as a young woman. Sometimes, you're reluctant to write your name while somebody is looking over your shoulder, write your number, and the app takes all of that fear away completely.
Yep, that is. For me too. Yes, honestly, that runs through my mind. Who is in the back of me looking at my information?
No, honestly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, not just as women, as everyone, I'm sure. But yeah.
So I have the app pulled up here, and I'm looking at some of the features. And for the people who don't have the app as well, where can they go to download this app?
Yeah, so a good place to start would be to go to tether.gd, or you can visit your app store, whether you're on Apple or on Android. Look for Tether, TEDA, and it should pop up right at the top, right? And you download, and you could start exploring. Now, we speak a lot about the contact tracing bits, but I also want to mention some of the other functions of the app, right? Within there, you have the ability to follow your businesses. I'll say it's all about connecting you to your businesses. So you could browse businesses, you could see the products that they're offering. So if you look right at the top, you would see that you have some of the latest products. So you would see that, what we've seen happening is out of the small businesses, artisans, we have some artists on there. We have people who make soaps. I mean, that's the first place I actually saw this young man making soap from goat milk and ginger and other things that you never thought could have been used to make soaps, right? So you can go on there and really browse and discover new products as well, see things that you probably never came across before. And more small businesses are adding products on there, and we encourage. That's the second part. Right now we're promoting heavily the contact tracing part, but once you go onto the app, you would see that there's a lot more you can do in terms of being able to see what these companies have to offer.
Okay. Now I'm looking at the app. I have it open in front of me here, and I'm noticing that apart from businesses doing a little advertisement and so on, where you can visit the website or call or send an email or so on, there are some online shopping features as well.
Yes.
Where you can, I want to assume, order things online?
Yes. So right, so the big challenge we're solving for the small businesses is giving them that platform, right? I would add that resilience to the business, given what's happening with COVID now. Sometimes you have those lockdowns, and they have no market, direct market, physical market. So the idea for us is to provide that online marketplace where they can put their products. And have customers or visitors to the app patronize and buy those products. Now, currently, we support pay on delivery as a payment method, but we're partnering. We're looking at some partnerships that would enable us to offer debit cards and credit cards and so forth. I must say we're getting a lot of interest from persons in the diaspora as well, who are interested in buying goods from the locals here. So it's exciting.
Right, and I love the fact that there are a lot of small local businesses. And it, of course, will encourage entrepreneurs and give them a way or a means by which they can advertise their goods. Because as we know, the effects of COVID have really put us in a position where we are more dependent now on technology. And of course, this provides an opportunity for us to reach a local market. Now, let's say I was a farmer in the vendors market and so on, and I decided to solicit your assistance using this app. where I would like to put out, well, I'm going to have maybe this pumpkins this weekend or corn that weekend, or I'm selling maybe lobster, whatever it may be. Can I, as from any walk of business, can I advertise with your company?
Yes. So the first thing I would encourage you to do, if you're a small business owner or a big business owner, any business owner, you need to go into the app, register as a user, and add your business. The first step.
Right.
You add your business, is free. You could go ahead, put in your business there. You could, if you have a physical space that you operate from, you can print your QR code and give your customers that walk in that convenience with the scanning in and so forth. But also, you can also in the free plan, you can put up some of your products. So if you have yams, you have tomatoes that you want to offer for sale, you go into the shopping, you enable e-commerce, you go into shopping and you add your products on there, put in your price, and persons can go in there. Once you set up your delivery method and so forth, persons can go in there and actually add to the cart and check out, and you get a notification that someone placed an order. You can arrange either delivery, because we provide the mechanisms for you to know where you have to drop it off and other things. And if you are doing pickup only, meaning that you have some pickup a location where they could go to pick up their goods, then that could be provided in there as well while they go through the checkout process.
Okay, so how does one get their own QR code?
All within the app. So as a business, once you're the owner of a business, you go to the business like how you go to any business. So you go browse, or on the side there's a space where you could see all your businesses. So if you're an owner of multiple small businesses, you can put in more than one of them, right? So you go in there and you can click. Once you go into your business, you have the option at the top to download your own QR code. All right, and other things. So as a business, you can also see insights. You can see the traffic that you're receiving this week compared to last week, and other analytics that would help you in really getting value out of the system. All right, I must say, and one thing that we catered for is that we know a lot of persons, especially for the check-in part, they don't have data on their phones. So the app works. Once you have it installed on your phone and you've registered, we allow you to scan, check in without needing data.
Yeah, I definitely know that part, because I almost never have data on my phone, and I'm always able to check in. Always able to check in. So I think I love that part of it the most, because that was one of my biggest concerns when downloading the app. Would I need to have data, or would I need to have access to a wireless internet connection in order to use the app and scan the code? And that is not the case. I don't.
No.
It's basically zero rated, as they say.
Exactly.
Now, you speak about the free part of it. Is there a part where businesses would have to pay for certain services?
Yes. So the free plan comes with the ability to add 3 products, right? Up to 3 products.
Right.
If you to be able to add up to 30 products, there is a $60 charge.
Right.
$60 a month, that is. And then if you're a bigger business or the business is growing, because once you start using Tether, we're anticipating that you'll be able to grow the business.
Right.
And of course, add more products to your line, to your offering. And once you start growing beyond 30, between 30 and 100, or up to 100 products, it's $250 a month. Compare that to renting a space.
Right.
It's a more viable option.
Right.
And you can use it even while, if you have a space right now, you can use both of them in tandem. That's why we try to make it really affordable.
Right.
And we provide the technical support and other things that you need to really get started.
Right. But I do think that it in itself, the $250 is worth it, not only because we're thinking about a space, but we're also thinking about the multiple services that is provided. You now have an app that allows you to contact trace, which is something that you don't have to worry about. You have a platform now that you can not just advertise your service and your goods, but sell them as well.
Yes.
And of course, network with people. One of the most important things that I think I want to ask about this app. Let's say, for example, I want to purchase. Let me look for something that's popular. a T-shirt. I want to purchase a T-shirt, a particular T-shirt, a polo, a V-neck, or whatever. Is there a place on the app that allows me to type what I want in, and there be options of stores given to me, and of course I can choose where the closest location is, or based on availability and so on. Is that available?
Yeah. So under the Explore page, you could browse businesses. You could browse business. So if you know the business you're looking for, you could just type the particular business name, or you could choose a category. All right, but also there is under the product section of Explore, you can type in the product that you're looking for, and then we're going to continue improving on it to make it smarter in case you make a typo or other things that you may not know about the product that you type in. So let's say, for example, you type V-necks, right, or V-neck T-shirt. We try to make it where we really understand what you intend to search for and provide the results. So these are things that we would work on and build as we go. But right now, you could search for things and so forth.
I see Mr. Bowler's hand in the corner, which means that he has a question.
Sure.
Well, I just wanted to try in because I like to give the main host, who is Miss Duncan. I'm just a co-host. Right?
Okay.
So she's in charge. She's my boss.
Okay.
Right? So she takes charge. You see, you walked in and I had to immediately move from the seat so that you can take it. Whatever she says goes here. But I just wanted to place the question, Chad. What inspired you? I mean, I've known you for a while, and I know that's your love. Being in the technology, of falling in love with that, and has been trying many things. What inspired you in the first instance to set up an app like that? And secondly, how long did it take you, to really put everything together and bring it to fruition? And maybe, if you like, you would want to mention the role that this young lady and others played in putting that together.
Sure. No, so Nova is I think we're a solutions company. We try to solve problems. So during the whole COVID lockdown, we were approached by tourism, the Ministry of Tourism, to think of a solution that would help reopen the country, really, to help businesses safely reopen to the public. And initially, we came up with the idea of the QR code, where people could scan the QR code and so forth and so forth. We were looking at this partnership. We partnered with the Chamber and Trade, and in bringing them on. Even before that, the idea started evolving. We spoke to the team, and the team, it evolved. I would say where it started and where it is now, it's completely different, right? So we decided, how can we make it where the small businesses who have to shut down, because at the time we were thinking about, we saw in the news, the market vendors who are out, who can't find customers now, and goods spoiling, and then you have the fishermen, and then you had, the small craftsmen and so forth, who are really affected. So we thought it's not best. The ideal solution needs to cater for these small businesses, and that's why we added the ability to do e-commerce and to market and to give them access to that bigger online market, because we know everybody's online these days.
Right.
All right. So that's how we evolved the idea from just a basic app to facilitate business in tracking who came in and whatnot, to one where businesses could actually have a new growing online marketplace where they can really put their offerings and so forth. All right. Now, it's not me. While I'm here, I must say I have an entire team working with me. Alyssa is responsible for the marketing part of it. Then the entire software team is working on it daily, just getting it, improving on it, and building on the concept. All right, so I can't take the credit. And of course, God has blessed us tremendously with some great ideas, and just with the health and everything that we need, the tenacity, everything we need to really endure. Because we've had our challenges in getting it here, and we've been able to really endure. So it took us from the concept to now is about 3 months, since we started originally, Alyssa?
I think so.
Yeah. So somewhere around there. The initial launch happened in December.
Okay.
So it to get to the initial launch, it took us about a month. Before we actually got it out to the market. We had some challenges with iOS in the early days because they're a little more restrictive with what you could put in there and so forth. And we got over that in late December, I believe. So we were on both platforms, iOS and Android, coming into January. Right. And that's where we started really started advertising and growing the platform.
Okay. Now, I love the idea, and I think very early, if I remember correctly, when we started thinking, when we just started feeling the effects of COVID, we had a conversation.
Actually, you were a big part of it as well, because we were doing some things, and then you spoke to me about the contact tracing part of it. I remember that conversation clearly.
We had a very early conversation.
And then I came and showed you a little prototype that we were working on, and just trying to. So I think that too at least seeded the initial solving the whole contact tracing bit. I must say there were two platforms, because initially we started working on something else,
right?
As you know, where the original, not related to Tether specifically, but it was more. I think it was even announced in the media, at one point with the whole contact tracing.
Right.
Yeah, but that didn't go as planned. So.
Right, but I love this particular app because it takes care of so many problems that we are facing right now, and I'm sure that the marketing manager would like to, not manager, but the person in charge of marketing manager, because you're in charge of marketing, would like to chime in and tell us about some of those things that it seeks to eliminate.
I would like to say, before we stray too far from the talking about the team and how everything was developed, I would like to say that we have a really small team of software developers, and every day I'm impressed with these people. Honestly, it's a team of young people. The youngest person is 20.
Wow.
And I don't want to age Chad, but he's the oldest.
I don't want to say who age, but you start from 20 youngest to what? 20
to 33.
33.
Yeah.
He aged himself.
Yeah. so it's a young bunch. It's a young bunch. Yeah.
All Grenadians.
All Grenadians. How much of us, Chad? It's not even us. I can't include myself.
You're included as well. But we're 6 of us.
Yeah.
Who are actively involved in this specific project.
And for me as a non-developer, looking at this team, like this app, you're putting it on par with things like Shopify and other stuff, Etsy, and you're like, these companies have huge teams behind it, whereas Tether has this very small, powerful team, and I just want to commend all of y'all.
But I want to join with you in commending as well. I don't know all of the members. I know Chad very well. I didn't even know you. I think it's the first time my eyes that are not so well. I don't longer have 20/20 vision. It's more like 10/17. But I'm blessed to get to know you. But having said that, though, Chad, what's next for us? You have now brought that to the market, and as you have said, and we are understanding, it's starting to hold its place. More and more local businesses are getting used to it, and we are transitioning. We are getting there to where we would eventually be like the metropolitan countries, where most of our shopping would be online and going to these apps and order and things like that. So this is, I want to believe, a start for you. Is there anything in mind yet? Well, I'm just prying into your brain.
Yeah.
There probably might be some secretive things that you can't say yet, so don't force yourself to say it, but what's next on the horizon? What can we look forward to?
So I think Tether right now is a baby. It's really young in its development, and there are a lot of things that we're seeing right now that we want to add to it. there's a lot of things that small businesses would need as they grow. So right now, while businesses are now being introduced to doing commerce online, there is a lot more they would need. All right, things like fulfillment. How do you deal with that practically? Then you have payments, taking care of microtransactions. Like these are very small transactions. If I want to buy a pack of cheese straw and tell her, how can we do it affordably? Right? Online and pay online for that, right? Without the fees being above the cost of the product itself. Right? So we need to look at all of these things. I think partnerships with some of the major institutions and how we could really transfer money cost effectively online. So these are some of the things that we need to address. The other thing is, as businesses grow, they would need more things like inventory management. They would need to do those things effectively, including finance management, maybe integrating with tools like Facebook and whatnot. So when you make your sales online, it integrates back, so you have proper record keeping and so. But the idea is not just to provide the platform where they could do commerce, but also that would help them in running the business properly and be successful in the end. So in some ways, the platform itself has to guide the users in how they run the business, as opposed to just guiding them in selling their products online. Yeah.
So in layman's terms, your business is set to revolutionize the way we do business.
I think so.
Wow.
Right? I think that's where we would like to end up, and that's the journey we're on.
Right. Yeah. I have a comment here for you online, and it reads, interesting and exciting hearing from the diaspora. I am Dr. Humphrey, working on a project to help prevent heart disease in the community. Is there a chance of providing cardiology care through this app?
There's another app that we built before this one. We never launched it officially. It's called Medipal. And it's really looking at how we could deal with telemedicine and offering this kind of online type of health services.
Wow.
And this is something that we put on not on the back burner, but we had to focus on until at the time, because now is when we think we're solving a real problem now.
Yes.
But it is a solution that we have, and we could speak more about it because it's there, and it's something we could look at. For you.
But Doc, don't forget, you could always create a Twitter profile for your office as well.
Yes.
Oh, right.
That's a good place to get started.
Yes.
So you could create a space for your office, and also eventually we could have a conversation about how exactly the booking works, because right now we have special modules for dealing with restaurants, special modules for people who do deliveries, and special module for persons who do pickups.
And those pickups are all up and running already?
Up and running already. So now we can look at a module. We're trying to, one of the conversations we had early with the chamber when we had the discussions is how do we cater for service providers?
Right.
And that's something we're thinking about. Whether it means some form of calendar integration where you could make your appointments and those type of things, and we could look at it.
Wow.
But we're trying to touch a wide cross-section of the businesses that operate here. Of course, selecting those who get the most value up front. First, which are the small businesses. I love dealing with the artisans, because I think they're really undersupplied with tools. The artists and other people who make things and sell. I think that's the initial group that I think they will get the most value from putting the business on the app.
Absolutely.
But eventually, you want to cater for some of the service providers, so doctors' offices, and we already have some doctors' offices on the app. So you could probably, I think, Doc, you could go ahead and add your profile on there. But reach out to Sonova. I could leave my contact details at the end for businesses.
You could give them now too.
Okay.
Just be mindful that it comes with a cost. Free advertising.
Yeah. So
you can give them now, and you can give them in the end as well.
Yeah. So you can reach out, send an email to info@sonova.com. And
reach out on social media.
Reach out on social media. We're active on. Alyssa is very active on Facebook, so Sonova has a really good presence there, on LinkedIn. I think those are the two, Alyssa?
And Instagram.
And Instagram.
Teta also has its own Facebook page. If you're looking for directly information about Teta, you could go there. But if you're looking for information about Sonova, you could find us at Sonova on Facebook.
On Facebook. And he left his telephone number as well, so I'll make sure that you get that.
Okay,
so you guys can keep in contact. Because he looks like he's very interested in telemedicine, yes. And he said he has an NGO that's already set up for a mobile clinic. So
we are we're very interested in bringing the two partners
together. Absolutely.
I don't know what that means in between, right?
We appreciate.
Right now, Alyssa, you were going to tell us about some of the problems that some of the marketing problems that Teta seeks to solve.
Right. Okay. So for one, I mean, it solves a lot, to be honest, because when we're given our information by writing it in these books, what happens to them afterwards? What happens to that information? That is lost opportunity for the businesses to gather
intelligence.
Yeah, to gather a good bit of information on who's a recurring customer and how to better serve your customers. So Teta solves that with our insights for sure. And then also you're able to create a following in the app as well. So you get people who might just be browsing through the app and might like your profile. They could follow you for updates and in turn might end up buying products from you, visiting your store, whatever service you may offer. And then we have the added feature of the spot of the day, which is on our homepage. It's an ad spot where you can showcase your business for that day, and anyone upon opening the app, that's the first thing you see.
Right.
So I mean, immediately you get fresh eyes every time on your business.
Right. Now, I know we're speaking specifically about Grenada and it's homemade, and we love that. But are there options for other Caribbean countries? Because we've just seen our first vaccination of our health officials, and we are extremely excited about that. But we are still some way away from total coverage, or as much coverage as possible, because we are going to have the anti-vaxxers who don't want to participate. So as much coverage as possible, I think is the better statement. And there are currently countries that are struggling with community spread, struggling with contact tracing. How do we identify, especially in some of the bigger countries like Barbados and so on, with these massive malls and so on, how do we identify who has been here, what time they've been here, and so on? Is this service available to countries outside of Grenada to help better manage the contact tracing?
Yes.
Teta is worldwide.
Yeah. So
wow.
Right now, we're concentrating on marketing here, right? But when you're registering a business, you could pick the country, and we have the whole gamut there. So any business could sign up.
Right.
But again, because it's almost a two-sided place, where even though you have the market, you also need the businesses, or you also need the users.
Right.
So I think it's balancing that. So the reason why we haven't marketed in other areas yet is because we're still trying to build locally first, and then we would use that momentum to get into the other islands. But if there is someone listening from all the other islands and they would like to get Teta in and probably market it for the business up there, in whatever country they're in, then they could feel free to do so. They could contact us, and we could provide them with the marketing materials and other things they would need to really
and then that opens a bigger conversation in terms of regional trade and regional activity. Let's say I'm sitting here in Grenada and I want to buy something from Massey's in Barbados. Can I order it through Teta and they ship it to me? It opens up a wider conversation.
Yeah.
For sure.
We've had some discussions with other similar platform providers in Jamaica and other islands, and one of the things we're speaking about is integration. So our hope for the businesses who are targeting that market is that you later on have the option to make your offering available in Nicolaica, Jamaica, for example. That's one of the sites that sells products and so forth in Jamaica. And likewise, persons posting there could have their products visible in Tether. Those are the kind of discussions we're having, because we believe the way forward is partnership.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. And then it opens a door for Grenadians, especially artisans, as you said here, who have their paintings and their craft and so on, that they would like to advertise for people within the Caribbean. So I may be going to Barbados to visit, or to St. Lucia to visit, or to Trinidad to visit, and instead of buying the stuff and putting it in my suitcase and so on, I may be over there and I want to buy a little souvenir for someone over there, I can order it through Tether.
Yes. And by the time you get there, it's there. It's there. And the other thing too, right now, people have to quarantine when they come into the country for a couple of days. Right? Now that's an opportunity. These are people who are in their rooms. They're coming to Grenada, right? But they can't go out and go to the market and interact with people yet. If you put your business into that, that's an opportunity for them to be able to buy the cinnamon while in the room. Buy all the souvenir, the art, things they wouldn't see naturally. Like I'm looking at this guy with the goat milk soap and all those different things, and I'm not too sure if he's in the markets, right? Even there's markets and whatnot, right? So you have other persons who are doing things. And you wouldn't see them if you're a visitor to the island and you're going around. But in Tether, you would see, I think, the most diverse collection of offerings that's made available locally.
I just want to say the soap man Chad talking about, his business is called Skin Indulge on Tether.
Skin Indulge. All right.
Shout out to Skin Indulge.
I really do hope that more advertisement is done about this app, because it really is not just an app for contact tracing. It's so much more, and I think that more, and trust me, I do a lot of advertising for you guys, because every single time I go into a business, I say to them, listen, y'all have the app? And if they say no, let me tell you something, y'all need to get this app. I have fed up signing my name. I come here 7 times for the week, and my name in this book 7 times. I'm tired. Just get the app. This is me, because I really feel like I'm tired of signing my name. Even when I'm visiting the hospital, and I think that's a very important tool as well, because it also removes the contact element as well between people. Because guess what? I may sanitize my hands, sanitizing here and there and so on, but I lean up on the book like this to write, and I probably just cough into my sleeve or something. So it takes away that contact element where I have to use the same pen you just used to write my name in the book, whether I feel like I've sanitized properly or not, and it allows people to use their devices, which most people have. I mean, you're going to find a little elderly people, and not much of them, by the way, who don't have a little phone that would allow them to download the app. But it's not much of them, because right now all granny and grandpa on WhatsApp. And once your phone has WhatsApp capabilities, I'm quite sure it can support Tether. Can support Tether, exactly. So I think it takes a lot of that contact element away. And as you said, it's free. Unless you're trying to do more business with Tether, then you pay a certain amount as it grows.
As it grows, yes.
So I think it's a wonderful, and I must say congratulations to you and to your team. I mean, 6 of you, 20 being the youngest, 33 being the oldest. I mean, I'm close to that age. and I couldn't even see myself, it's probably not even my field, but I can't see myself or see anyone in my age group doing that.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I always like to say we need more. For the young people out there, we need more solutions like these. I believe that we have to scratch our own itch, as someone put it. I can't remember who told me that. Right? But I liked it. We have to scratch our own itch, right? There are a lot of problems. If we look at issues like prenatal larceny and other major issues that are affecting us locally, we need to create our own local solutions. And, and because I think the days, and if you look at how technology is growing, right? The days where you need a big corporation to provide a solution, that's gone.
Yeah.
Right? We've seen youngsters and young people, if you look at where Facebook started and so, these are young people, in the early 20s, in the teens, who are creating solutions. So I like to encourage our locals, let's create solutions, and of course, as the older and as the government and other more mature organizations, we have to support our local solution providers.
Absolutely.
And I think that's how we'll build the ecosystem here and really get that culture change.
Absolutely. Now, I'm seeing a lot of, I'm just going through here and I'm looking at some of the options that I'm seeing available. Art, I'm seeing Payless, I'm seeing packages for photo shoots, I'm seeing restaurants, I'm seeing, am I seeing restaurants?
Yeah, we have restaurants on there.
I'm seeing bars, I'm seeing the artisans, as you said, I'm seeing people who are selling plants, I'm seeing, even Valentine's Day packages I'm seeing available on this app. Now, I know you mentioned something and I saw Mr. Bola's eyes light up. So I'm going to ask the question because I know he wants the question asked.
Sure.
You mentioned Pretty Elasticity. You mentioned Pretty Elasticity. Give us a scenario in which an app can be used to help combat them, because this is a big problem for farmers, obviously. And right now, I think one of the only solutions we have is the installation of security cameras to keep track of what's going on in your area. But how can Sonova help in this fight?
Well, it's something that we've put some thought into in the past, to be honest. And we believe that technologies like artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, are what would bring a feasible solution for those problems. I don't want to get into too much details, right?
I know.
But we think those are the technologies that we think could practice. Because let's imagine you have a camera, for example. Someone has to be looking at it.
Yeah.
You can't do motion detection because a plant swings around and animals move around. Right? So these are not practical. So, and then you're talking about streaming video, right, from the mountain. Let's say I'm in the mountain, I'm getting 1 bar, right? Right, on my phone, right? How do you stream that content, right? So I think that's an opportunity for us to really explore, some of these technologies. I mean, we are looking at some things in house. I mean, we can't stretch ourselves to thin, as I said, we only have 6 people.
Right.
But we'll be willing to partner with someone. Let's say there's someone out there who might be willing to invest in developing a solution like that.
Right.
Then we will be interested in having a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to pop a question to you, Chad. Hypothetically, and my eyes light up when you mentioned Pretty Elasticity, and Ms. Duncan is not telling you everything. Because before you came here, there was a previous appointment that didn't work out.
Okay.
And that day I wasn't going to be around, and I did say to her, please, when Chad comes and you'll talk all your business, ask him whether or not there's a possibility for his company to do something Pretty Elasticity.
Yes.
I am a lover of farming. You have heard me say that a million times. I still farm.
Yes.
I've been to my lands this morning before I came here. Every morning. That's where I get my morning sweat and I get my inspiration to go through the day. And I've had my own problems with Pretty Elasticity. I know what farmers are going through. I've been through it. You've said that in-house you all have been doing some thinking. The thought process has started, but maybe partnership. Would it be feasible for Sonova to put together a project, say, something with a costing, and say to government, look, if you can fund us X amount of dollars, or you can find a partner in the region, whatever, to help us, to fund us, to develop some solutions. Would that be a feasible thing for you?
Definitely. And it's something that it's something that we've been thinking about. I think we have a solution. All right, I can't say much.
No, I don't want you to say more than you should.
This is something that we'll definitely be interested in looking at and developing a project. If there are opportunities for getting it funded, and I think it's something worth exploring.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. And now I know we're running out of time, and I want to quickly move into something that concerns, I think, every household, and that is bill payment. Listen, these lines in Grenlec and Nawassa and utility companies are always ridiculously long. Unless it's like the middle of the month when nobody has any bills to pay. They are always ridiculously long for days on end. And I know that, and I'm hoping that as soon as possible, even if that's the first thing, Chad, that y'all have to get up and running, is bill payment online, or through the app, at least, because it is one of the most tedious activities at the end of every month. And if we can find a solution for something like that, I know there are facilities through the bank that you can go ahead and pay and so on. But if I could just pull out my credit card and go to TIDA and click on Nawassa and put in my account number and pay my bill online, I would be forever grateful to because it is one of the most dreaded tasks at the end of every month, and especially due to COVID, people are now more skeptical. The lines are even longer because of the social distancing, and for more days at a time, because there are so many people trying to avoid, those early hours. Those early days, they're trying to avoid those. So everybody is waiting until the last minute, and the lines are continuously long. So if we can fix a problem like that using the app, I think a lot of housewives, a lot of single mothers, a lot of wives in general would be, and the husbands too who do it. I see Mr. Bola face in the back. They're like, listen, I pay bills too, But the husbands too that do it, we would be very grateful. And for those who have to take a little run out on their lunch time, my lunch is an hour, but I have to spend half an hour, 45 minutes in a line to pay a bill, that would be very helpful. So how far away, really, are we from, even if it's just the bill payment, not everybody can't get it at the same time, but just for the bill payment, to assist these companies in getting, and assist the people of Grenada in facilities that they can use for online payment. How far away are we from something like that?
Well, I think something like bills is something that the businesses themselves has to want, right? So the utilities, they need to have the desire to implement or to provide something like that for the customers.
Right.
And of course, at Sonova, we're always excited about working on solving exciting real problems.
Right.
So it's a dialogue that we'll be willing to have with any one of the utilities. I know Lime already went online with the bills so forth. So I think it's important, and I don't think I think it's important, but I think it's necessary, given our current situation, that the utilities consider offering that to the customers.
I fully agree.
So it's something that if anybody listening from all the utilities can reach out to us, it's something that we could build in-house for them, because it's more than just taking the payments. How do persons know the balance, for example? So it's more than just, it requires some talking to the systems and so forth, integration and so forth. So if there's anybody listening and they think any company might be interested in implementing online bill payments, and this is something that we could facilitate.
Okay. And finally, what are some of the major problems that you and your team have sat down and say, we have possible solutions for these?
Well, one is doing business online. Agritech is one of those that we're very passionate about. Sustainable agriculture, integrating technology into agriculture and into some of these more underserved industries is one of those things. Then we have loans. As young people, it's very difficult to find one, educational lending and a really good lending partner, and the process is, as you know, is very tedious. So we've built out a solution. We've started talking about it, having the dialogue on our social media with some of the potential people who may be interested in that kind of service, really understanding what they want, and we've developed something called SFIN, All right. We started speaking about it, as I say. You could go check it out on Sonova's Facebook page if you want to learn more. But those are the two that we decided to take on right now. The lending. So it's essentially a lending marketplace where you can go in, you create a profile, you put in all the necessaries, the details that the banks would usually ask for, like your breakdown of your expenses, your revenue, so forth. We calculated debt service ratio, and we provide some advice. So based on the debt service ratio, we say, okay, probably a consolidation or whatever might be the better option for you, or maybe this is what you could be asking for from the banks.
Wow.
And then you put up your lending needs. So you say, I'm interested in a loan to buy a vehicle or to build a house. You put up how much you're looking for, what the purpose of it, and other details. And then it goes out. The idea is to partner with all the institutions who would be interested in that. And then it goes out to them.
Right.
All right. And then they could now go in and make you offers based on what you're looking for and your profile, the detail you provide in your profile. So that's one of the ideas that we've built, and we're very excited about rolling it out. That's something that will come later on, I would say mid-year. But continue following us on Facebook. You'll learn a lot more about it as we develop it, and we share a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm hearing it, and I love it already, because you as a young person, you want to do things. And sometimes in order to find the best available deal, basically, or option, you have to go to every single institution just to sit and talk with someone and wait, and it is a tedious project. And by the time you're ready and you find something, you're done tired and your mind probably changed already.
Well, the process is one, but the psychological impact it could have on you. When you're going, you're a young person, you just probably got a job, and most businesses these days, you're on contract. So you go in there, and then, you hear so many no's sometimes.
Yep.
It's like, so I think really just, saving the time is one, but also getting the necessary advice. So you would see people, for example, their first loan is a vehicle, all right, and then they're looking at other opportunities, and then they realize they have other little loans, like they do the fast cash and the other little things, and they don't realize that you could actually bring everything together. But if you go and you ask for something specifically, not knowing what the options are, then you're really lost, really. When you're getting into lending and building your future, it's a very lonely process for young people.
It is. It is very. Trust me, I know it's a very lonely process.
I was there, we've all been there. We've all been there. So.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you for coming here today and to share this information with us. I think it's very valuable information, and I would say, I hope that you get more media engagement, because I think this is a revolutionary app. I think it's going to do a lot for us here in Grenada as businesses, as business people, entrepreneurs, especially in this time with COVID, and for the future as well. Because once we cover it now, the pandemic could hit tomorrow, but we'll be technologically ready.
Yes.
And I think that's important, and it's a good place to be. So I thank you so much for taking the time to come here, Alyssa. Thank you so much for taking the time to come as well and to share with us. I really hope to have you guys back soon, especially for the rollout of that next app. It has me all excited already. But we are out of time. Look how time flies so quickly, and always already gone. So guys, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. And for those of you out there listening, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. As we say here every day, in whatever you do and whatever you say, be safe and be secure. At Hard Talk, we always want to be talking with you. We do not ever want to be talking about you. So please do enjoy the remainder of your day and stay tuned for the National Report. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Grenada receives second shipment of 5,000 COVID vaccines. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Thursday, February 11th, 2021, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Another 5,000 doses of AstraZeneca vaccines were received on Thursday by Health Minister Honorable Nicholas Steele and officials of the Ministry of Health. The second shipment comes on the heels of 1,000 doses that were received on Wednesday. We'll have more details in Friday's newscast. The Ministry of Health says Grenada's current vaccination system is effective and will be used in the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccination plan. Health Minister Honorable Nicholas Steele on Wednesday said Grenada's vaccination registry system is advanced and certified by the Pan American Health Organization. He stressed that the system has been tried and tested for years. During government's weekly post-cabinet briefing on Wednesday, Minister Steele said for years vaccines have been given to Grenadians from birth with little or no risk, and this vaccine is no different.
We vaccinate people from birth onwards and keep a record of that. And this is an additional vaccine in the arsenal that we use against various infectious diseases. So we will be using that registry to keep track. There are still discussions with respect to the proof for travel or in other countries of a vaccine certificate or vaccine passport, whether it is electronic, etc. There are still considerations being given for that. Within the OECS, we would recognize each other's certified vaccine card, if you want, or proof of vaccine, and within Carriacou, but discussions on a wider field still have to be had through PAHO WHO.
In response to the question of proper monitoring after administering the vaccine, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles said Grenada's robust vaccination system ensures that there is no spike in diseases that affect people at a global level.
I am sure that many persons can't remember the last time there was a measles outbreak in Grenada, or a rubella outbreak, or a whooping cough outbreak, or a child with polio, or someone becoming deaf, or having some sort of malformation because of any of the common vaccine-preventable diseases that are circulating worldwide. 2018-2019, there were large outbreaks of measles, including in North America, but we did not have an outbreak of measles in Grenada because we have a robust vaccination system. Built into that system is the monitoring, right? One is the monitoring and the treatment of any immediate effects of vaccination.
Dr. Charles is confident that with recent enhancements to the system, the rollout of the COVID-19 plan will be a success.
This system has been enhanced over the years with the conversion from the paper-based that we had before to the electronic immunization register. Now, with the electronic immunization register, a child could be born in St. George's, living in St. George's, start their vaccination in St. George, move to another parish, and continue their vaccine routinely. The nurse just goes into the system, types up the child's name or their accession number or whatsoever, and administer the appropriate vaccine. The same system would be employed going forward. So we have the systems in place for monitoring. We have the facilities available for treating any immediate issues that arise after following vaccination.
Continuing the news and still with news from the Ministry of Health, persons traveling to Grenada who have taken the COVID-19 vaccine are still required to be quarantined. Health Minister Honorable Nicholas Steele said not enough Grenadians have been vaccinated and may be at risk if visitors are not quarantined. According to Minister Steele, the vaccination does not prevent persons from getting the virus. However, it prepares the body to fight against symptoms.
People still need to be quarantined traveling into Grenada because Grenada has not specifically had enough of its population vaccinated as well. That the vaccination gives the individual protection from the severe symptoms of the disease. But like polio vaccine, like measles vaccine, it does not prevent you from getting it. It teaches the body how to fight it. So that it doesn't affect the body aggressively. So persons coming in while vaccinated can still possibly bring the virus in to Grenada. And until we get enough of our citizens, in particular our frontline workers who are going to be dealing with those individuals vaccinated, we are going to be at risk.
The health minister is optimistic that time will reveal the true science of the virus after vaccination. He hopes that very soon Grenada and the rest of the world can return to a state of normalcy.
As we proceed, we will be able to tell, when I say we, the world, how much shorter of a period the virus lasts in someone who has been vaccinated as opposed to someone who has not. And that will make the determination as the stopgap in between to say, okay, before we have international acceptable levels of persons vaccinated, or within Grenada, the 60 or 70% of the eligible population vaccinated, we can look at a 2-day or 3-day quarantine for somebody who is vaccinated because the virus lasts less time there. That is what we're looking forward to as a stopgap, to then eventually COVID is no longer a threat internationally to us, and therefore we can move past this whole quarantine issue and go back to we travel freely once we have, like we do now, we can show that we have a yellow fever vaccine, then we can travel in and out of yellow fever zones. We show that we have a COVID vaccine, then we can travel in and out of COVID zones.
This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
Hey, are you gonna wear your mask today? You see everywhere you go, there are rules you got to follow, so don't you say COVID-19 will delay. Take the opportunity to save your community. Don't be that guy, put a mask on your face if you're heading outside. It's your life, my life, more lives will be taken if we don't try. If you feel any symptoms, call the hotline. Stay inside until you feel fine. 6 feet away every day. Keep COVID-19 far from away. Keep Grenada safe. Be COVID-19 smart.
Welcome back. Residents of Carriacou and Petit Martinique are reminded that Carnival has been cancelled, therefore Carnival-like activities are prohibited. Minister for Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs, Honorable Kendra Mathurin-Stewart, said neither Carriacou or Grenada are in the clear with regards to COVID-19. She stressed that while there are no active cases in the country, neighboring islands are still grappling with rising cases of the virus, which can pose a threat to Grenada. Carriacou's Carnival was carded for this weekend, February 12th to the 16th.
Notwithstanding the fact that Grenada has no active cases at this time, we all must be mindful of what is happening around us, especially what is happening in neighboring St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As a matter of fact, Union and Carriacou or Petit Martinique are next door neighbors. We are just next door. And so we are very concerned with what is happening over there. This coming weekend, I know it was a highly anticipated weekend, and so a lot of persons in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, yes, are disappointed that there'll be no carnival-like activities. And as a matter of fact, there'll be no carnival for 2021. And I really want to use this opportunity just to urge the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and of course visitors coming from Grenada and elsewhere, to observe all the COVID-19 protocols, the guidelines, and everything that are in place to ensure that we remain COVID-free, especially in Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
Minister Mathurin Stewart is concerned that activities are being planned silently and pleaded with the residents to wait out the COVID-19 period and remain safe. She urged them to not allow one weekend to spoil what Grenada has worked so hard to maintain in terms of controlling the spread of the virus.
These regulations and the protocols are in place for our safety. They are in place to safeguard our health, our well-being, and our lives. And I think that must come first. Our safety, our health, and our lives must come first. And we also must remember that Carriacou was one of the few places in the world where we had a 2020 carnival. And I must say that it was a bumper and big carnival. So let us wait it out for 2021. Let us relax, or if we do have to party, let us party in our backyards or in our front yards. Yeah, but let us avoid the large gatherings. Let us avoid the juve and the party-like and carnival-like activities. Let us continue to wear a mask. Let us continue to maintain the 6 feet social distancing. Let us continue to play our part in order to keep COVID-19 at bay.
Finally, in the news, many countries, people, and organizations have all begun adjusting to the new normal, having all been seriously impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. The Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association, GCNA, is one organization aspiring to get back to pre-COVID and even pre-Ivan production and sale of Grenada's black gold. Chairman Leo Cato says as the organization adjusts to the new normal, the scheduled purchasing of nutmegs will remain in place. This, according to Cato, is likely to change as production levels increase.
There must be a shift. There must be a shift in the way we do things. There must be a shift in the way we take care of our lands, we manage our weeds, we dry our maize, we store our nutmegs. There must be a shift. And to remind you that the GCNA would be buying nutmeg on a scheduled basis going forward. But don't worry, it would not stay on your hand. It wouldn't stay on your hand. The number of days would increase as the production of nutmeg increases. The more we can manage securely and tightly, the easier it is to make our returns. The easier it is to make a return. So I want you to bear in mind as we go forward, work with us on the shift. It's a shift that should take us to someplace better.
He was addressing farmers at the GCNA's annual general meeting on Thursday in St. Andrew. Cato identified some of the focus areas for the organization going forward.
As we look to this new normal, Minister, one of the things we want to consider very seriously the ownership of the assets of the association. I'll tell you why. Farmers have always clamored and queried the ownership. And so as we shift from what used to be to what must be, ownership of the assets of the association must be part of the shift. It must move from wherever it is, wherever it has been over the past 70 years, and put squarely in the hands and possession of the farmers and members of the GCNA. We want to ensure that a sector that survived all these years would go on to survive another 70 plus years. We want to ensure that. We know that we would have to make some major adjustments. We are aware. We know that we would have to seriously modernize our operations. We are aware. We know that value added must be given a higher part on the pedestal. We are aware of this. And we are working steadfastly.
Since being assigned the responsibility as Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Peter David has embarked on a journey of learning and discovery, which he says has helped him to understand the importance of the sector and the role that nutmeg and nutmeg farmers play in economic development and food security. Government will continue to support the GCNA, especially in 2021, a year dedicated as a year of organization and production. He encouraged the GCNA to see the pandemic as both a challenge and an opportunity.
This is a golden opportunity we must not squander. According to data from the GCNA, nutmeg production was 1,042,043 pounds in 2020. Sales in that period was EC $8,642,045. Given the many challenges of the past year, and we heard some of them from my dear brother Kato, this is very commendable. With increased collaboration between the GCNA and the ministry and the government, we can improve production and grow sales over the next few years.
That story just ended the national report for today, Thursday, February 11th. Let's recap the top story. Grenada receives second shipment of 5,000 COVID vaccines. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.